And welcome back to more Sonic Adventure 2 Battle. Last time, we, as Sonic, escaped a helicopter. Just to get captured again. So, Knuckles is also off doing something. Trying to find Master Emerald as usual, and meanwhile Tails is trying to break Sonic out of prison. If you notice the life counter is off, there was a bit of an accident during my first attempt to record this. I may have made a really dumb mistake, and I said, you know what, let's just restart the recording, but that's why I'm missing a life. So, this is Prison Lane. Tails' first stage and the introduction to the shooting stages. Basically, we have a mech and we just run around and lock onto everything. Kinda like Gamma in Sonic Adventure 2, or Sonic Adventure 1, but in this case it feels slower. Like it doesn't feel as tight. Well, a robot would be a little bit smoother than a mech I suppose. But same basic idea. Instead of getting additional time, like Gamma would for locking onto a bunch of robots at once, instead, you basically just get better score. So the highest bonus combo for locking on is 2,000, which you need to lock onto a lot to get 2,000, so just a warning, that ain't happening in this stage, because this is a relatively easy stage for us. Ease us into this gameplay. If you were playing the dark side, your first level would actually be a mech stage with Dr. Eggman, as there's this sort of urban legend that the mech gameplay was pretty much designed for Eggman and Tails was just kind of an afterthought. Like, they just sort of gave Tails the same gameplay as Eggman because they didn't want to really come up with another gameplay style, which I don't know how to feel about this theory. On one hand, it kind of makes sense because Tails' levels definitely don't feel as polished as Eggman's. Eggman's stages feel a lot more polished. That being said, though, there are a few things that make me wonder, and one of those things, oh, I actually passed it. Oops. Can't show that off, wrong room. But we'll see something later on that will cast doubt on this theory, but, that's it for Prison Lane. That's extreme. That was how many, we locked into everything in this room. We still only got 1,500. These are metal crates, we cannot break them, but there's something really good behind here, so keep that in mind.
I did it!
So that's probably an A rank. Tails is obviously a lot higher because you have to lock onto a bunch, but Tails' are easier than Eggman's.
Huh? Amy?
Keep your voice down. Have no fear. Amy Rose is here.
How'd you get here?
Well, if you gotta know, I caught a ride with Tails. Are you sure you don't need my help? It looks like you could use it.
The reason I'm in here is because of that fake hedgehog.
You mean that black hedgehog?
Did you see it? Where is it now?
If I tell ya, will you marry me?
No way!
I thought I had you this time. That black hedgehog came here with Dr. Eggman.
So, Eggman's behind this, huh?
What's all that writing on the wall anyway? Did you write that? Wait for me, Sonic! He's such a brat sometimes.
So there's mysterious writing on the back of that jail cell. What could it possibly mean? Well, we'll find out eventually. It doesn't actually mean anything, but welcome to Metal Harbor, aka the first wall if you're trying to get an A rank. This is the hardest stage to get an A rank. First go. I think it's actually impossible. But let's actually make a slight diversion and grab this. Just for the heck of it. Go over here, hit these springs. I never see this route because I never use it. So, the actual strat is really weird, but you grab this, come up here and grab the, or fall, that works too. Come up here and grab the light shoes so we can light dash. We don't have to hold the button down, thank goodness. We just have to push B next to a trail of rings. So if you actually want an A rank, what you should do is restart the stage. That sounds weird, but it is actually recommended. So there are two ways to A rank this stage, the hard way and the slightly harder way. The hard way involves taking a secret path that I will be pointing out. The slightly less hard way is to basically grind on every rail, chain enemies, light dash whenever possible, and you may barely get enough score. It's ridiculous. So right here, for example, light dash there. Coming out of the spring, we have a slightly buggy moment for me. Sometimes rolling under these can be a little finicky. So yeah, fun. Metal Harbor is extremely linear. It's basically a straight line throughout. So what you want to do is actually go on this rail. Homing attacking a rail makes you go faster on it. So I would actually recommend doing that, if possible. And here's the tricky part, if you're going for the harder way. You have to go a secret route. The rocket's about to take off, but you cannot grab the first handle you see. You have to homing attack those enemies and go around to a second spring higher up, and you'll get an extreme bonus. I'm pretty sure. It's crazy. It is impossibly difficult to do. Even having done this many times, I still mess it up constantly. There are rings here, grab them for extra score if you are still going for the A rank. So on my last playthrough, I actually did discover if you do a lot of extra rail grinding and combo a lot of enemies, you can still barely get the A rank. It's not surefire though. I think that's not that might be barely enough, actually. So yeah, that's the easier way to clear that.
Phew. So far, so good. Hey, that's...
That blue hedgehog again, of all places.
I found you, Faker.
Faker? I think you're the fake hedgehog around here. You're comparing yourself to me? Huh? You're not even good enough to be
I'll
my...
make you eat those words.
There's no time to play games. You won't even get the chance.
Now, there's a glitch in this fight. This is Shadow, by the way. There's a glitch where you can do basically an attack storage when rolling. If you roll by pushing the button, that's the same as every other action. But you can basically store it and then just walk up to Shadow and defeat him that way. I've never been able to pull it off, but that is possible. It's the same as like the sword glitch in Ocarina of Time in Majora's Mask with the Deku Stick.
Shadow, what are you doing? Hurry and get back here right now before the island blows up with you on it!
blows up. We gotta get out of here. Find Amy and Tails right away.
So by that I meant the oh, what the heck is that called? In Ocarina of Time, where you basically do like a crouch stab and store that, and then ooh, that's not the same thing. There's a thing where if you, I can't explain. I'm not an Ocarina of Time speedrunner, but basically you can store the last damage value into your basic standing animation effectively and just walk up to like enemies, and people use this in speedruns to quick kill like Ganon as Child Link using a Deku Stick. But anyway, this is Green Forest. This is used, the song is used in the Mega Collection, I'm pretty sure in one of the little info videos about the future of Sonic, because the Mega Collection, I think, did precede this game barely. I know I got the Mega Collection barely first. So there's a hidden power-up over here if we combo that and then go over here. The Ancient Light. Now they may have made the Light Dash a lot nicer, but the Light Speed Attack is still completely pointless. It is still tied to charging up a spin dash to maximum, so I will not be using it in the entirety of this playthrough except one time. I like using it in one spot because it's hilarious when you use it, but other than that, I'm not using it. Now, as a heads up, this stage is actually really hard to A rank because you need an item from later on in order to actually get a higher score. It applies to the final area. You can actually do the final area really fast and get actually a bonus score, depending on how you approach it. But yeah, you can see the little light particles moving towards Sonic as I was spin dashing, and that's the Ancient Light charging up, and I'll never use it in normal gameplay. I only use it once, just because it shows off how broken it is, and not broken OP like in Sonic Adventure where you could two-shot Chaos, but broken as in it does not really work. So coming up here is a rail. Definitely grind on it if you're going for the A rank. It's a little buggy, but we're at the end of the stage, so 8 minutes is really generous. So this last section you can do really fast with an item obtained later on. Oh, I actually did it normally. I'm actually impressed. Normally you get point bonuses though, and I didn't. I'm a little disappointed, because I actually got it and I didn't get anything out of it.
That was cool.
Maybe it just didn't flash on screen. But yay, we escaped. Somehow.
This place sure feels haunted. There's no time to lose. I have to hurry and find the Master Emerald.
So, as you may have gathered, pre-rendered cutscenes tend to be 4:3, but the in-game cutscenes tend to be 16:9, so they obviously couldn't stretch at the pre-rendered. So this is Pumpkin Hill. I do not like this level, because we went from Wild Canyon, which is pretty small, to Pumpkin Hill, which is absolutely insanely gargantuan. Got all the little pumpkins in the distance, you got 3 main islands. It's a really big level, and there's a lot of places the emeralds can be. My general strat is to just cruise around all 3 and hope for the best. Hope you get a blip and then go from there. See, that was good RNG comparably to usual. So after I check one island, I usually end up just going kind of in a circular pattern around. But sometimes when you use these old rockets, you actually miss them still, which sucks because they're low on the mountain, so you tend to actually pass it up by accident. Where are the rockets? I actually lost track of my surroundings a little bit. Ooh. Slopes are not your friend in this game. See, this is actually a lucky run, and it's still taking a few minutes. It's probably under here. Okay, I'm a little confused. There we go. One more. So I'm gonna check the church steeple area because that's the last place we haven't really looked, and they usually do tend to end up being on the three main. Actually, did I see it? I think I might have seen it. Just passing by. I'm hoping I was not seeing things because that'd be really nice. I was seeing things. Shoot. So let's check back at the trains. This is always what happens when trying to get A ranks. You'll have a really good time getting the first two, and then everything goes to heck and back when you're trying to find the last one. Sometimes it can be over here. It is actually over here. Wow. That was not a bad run. If I can just dig it out.
I found him.
Yeah, this is perfect.
Citizens of Earth, lend me your ears and listen to me very carefully. My name is Dr. Eggman, the world's greatest scientist, and soon to be the world's greatest ruler. Now witness the beginning of the greatest empire of all time.